Good evening and welcome here to Turner Stadium on the campus of Taylor University for tonight's final non-league tune-up for the Taylor men's soccer team as they take on the Aquinas Saints for just the third time in school history. The two teams have split the two decisions. Taylor won back in 2005 in Grand Rapids. The last time these two teams met was 11 years ago in 2010, and it was Aquinas winning here in Upland, Indiana, a couple hundred yards away back at the old Taylor soccer field that is currently used by the Taylor men's lacrosse team. The Trojans coming off of their second loss of the year and their first one here at home as they fell 4-0 to Missouri Baptist on Saturday. The Trojans had a couple of opportunities to make it just a one-goal game early in the second half when they possessed for the first 15 minutes or so of that second stanza, but could not break through, and ultimately fell for the first time here at home. Aquinas, who comes in out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, preseason pick number 3, they have struggled in their first 3 matches of the year. They are 0-2-1, being defeated by Crossroads League opponent Bethel, which is a team that Taylor will see coming up later in the year. But Aquinas 0-1-1 on the year. They're led by third-year head coach Luke Ruff. The Trojans led by 18th-year head coach Gary Ross. And an early foul called here against the Trojans. And it's a quick free kick for Aquinas as they're clad in gray tonight. Owen Setrin will get the block as he makes his second start of his Taylor career after transferring in from Biola. The goalies tonight is Sam Spiegel for the Trojans, the freshman from Bedford, Indiana, and a local graduate from Eastbrook High School makes his third career start and his fourth appearance of the year. Sam has allowed 2 goals on the year, has made 11 stops, and has a save percentage of 85%. The other end, Aquinas will send out their junior goalkeeper out of Italy, Antonio Strasiotto. He's allowed 7 goals this season, made 9 saves, has a goals against average of just below 2.2. Aquinas brings back a multitude of all-conference selections from a year ago, including the defending WAC newcomer of the year in Theo May, the midfielder from England. A first-team all-WAC selection a year ago, as well as the Saints won 10 matches last season, but just ended up on the outside looking in of the national tournament. Saints attacking the goal to our left here in the opening half on a cool but also muggy night here in Upland, Indiana, as the rains have come in throughout the morning today, and they're going to be raining all day tomorrow. Holwerda sprinting up the far side of the field, 2 goals and an assist for Luke this season, second most on the Trojans. Nice move from Brian Matipa in his 4th start of the year. Could not shake away, though, from the far side of the field. But Aquinas tries to clear, and Setrin will hold it in near side. One touch forward, angles to his left, slides, can't move it forward. Holwerda throws his toe out, back to Setrin. Then it'll be popped to the middle by Sawyer Watterson. Matipa throws his leg out, turns, Curran shoots, and an amazing save by the keeper, Strasiotto. A wonderful rip there for Brian Matipa in tight quarters, turned and shot it hard. And Strasiotto goes soaring in the air and deflects it out of play. It'll be the first corner kick of the night for the Trojans. And it'll be Watterson, the Spring Arbor transfer, to take this one from the far side. Colin Maris calling for it as he lurks on the backside of the post. A high in-swinger, trying to get to its Hoosier, headed away by the back line of Aquinas. And he'll stay here with TU as a corner will come from the near side of the field. This is rare. Aquinas has 25-7 corners advantage over their opponents coming in, and they've allowed now 2 in the first 5 minutes of action here from Upland. Near side corner means it'll be the lefty Quinn Partain to take it. The Trojans the leading goal scorer with 3. An in-swinger to the backside. Hoosiers right there. Could not flick it on. It'll sail just over the crossbar. And it was last touched by the forehead of Jackson Hoosier. And we'll have a goal kick here for Strasiotto and the folks from Aquinas. As you mentioned off the top, last non-conference tune-up for Taylor before they jump into Crossroads League action starting here Saturday night against Mount Vernon Nazarene. Owadaleo to the far side of the field and Theo May. Big right foot forward. This one intercepted by James McBride as the Trojan midfielder works forward. And then a foul on the other end. And it'll go against the Trojans and be a free kick from the defensive end. Or a handball, excuse me. I think it'll be a handball there against McBride. Owadaleo getting an explanation. And this free kick will be taken by the keeper, Stracciotto. 6'2 junior out of Italy. Clad in pink tonight. Waving his mates forward. This one driven 10 yards outside the 18. Cetrin pirouettes in the air and heads it down. Traffic for Vanderkolk, trying to move it forward for Taylor. Yoder couldn't slip it through and is intercepted by Hoofnagels. Coming back to get this one's Watterson from his midfield spot. Partain will send it back to the outside back in Cetrin. Cetrin near side to Partain. Back to the talented freshman Colin Maris. And now the sophomore Jackson Hoosier. Far side to James McBride, the outside back. Vanderkolk trying to get free. Telegraphs the pass, and Clementson steps in front and poked it away, but cannot get a clean control, and it rolls out of play far side. 38 minutes left to go here in the opening half. Taylor has the only shot of the night so far, and it was a sprawling, leaping save from Stracciotto, the Aquinas keeper. Off the hands of Aquinas, and Taylor quickly restarts at far side. This one too hot for Matipa to handle, and it goes right back to Aquinas in the blink of an eye. Aquinas has been outscored 7-2 this season. Just 2 men with goals on the year for the Saints. A team that brings back, as we mentioned, almost 10 all-conference selections from a year ago, but the offense has been stuck in the mud. Taylor on the other side has outscored their opponents 11-7, but they've given up 6 of those 7 goals in the last 2 matches. Offside here against Aquinas, and Taylor will get it going from the defensive end. James McBride reties his boot, and he jogs back in, and Jackson Hoosier will send this one back into play. Big boot forward from Hoosier. Headed up by Owadaleo. Kept in by Vanderkolk. Owadaleo right there, and right foots one away. Maris gets his forehead on it, down into space. Cetrin all by himself, and he'll step across midfield. Cetrin carries forward towards the middle. Watterson tried to give it back to him, could not, played it behind him. And Aquinas sends it in deep, and now Maris has to hit the afterburners with Milan Hoofnagels on his heels, the man out of the Netherlands. Maris to Watterson. Yoder steps away from a challenge by Hoofnagels. Cetrin has it poked away from him, but Yoder's right there to keep it for Taylor for the time being. Plays between Hoofnagels' feet. The pass was read and intercepted by Calabrese. Partain to the near side and Holwarda. And then the play stopped in the back on the foul against Aquinas. Hoosier at 6'2", 175 will send this one from the near sideline to the far. McBride will chest it down and dribbles forward. Nice little move across midfield, trying to get away from May, and does. Left foot into space, and Matipa will scamper forward. Matipa on the left edge, has men cutting in front, splits 2 men, then 2 more men come forward. Owadaleo was the first one there, and he drives it away right before Matipa could turn and let one rip on the goal for the second time tonight. Bryan has the only goal, or the only shot for the Trojans tonight. Well, the only shot on goal, I should say, is that one was staved. Holwarda, left edge of the penalty area, deflected away by Owadaleo. And the Trojans will get ready for their 3rd corner in the first 10 minutes of action tonight. And Watterson again will take this one from the far side. It comes in to the right of the keeper, Stracciotto. 3rd corner of the first 10 minutes. Hoofnagels will come in and add extra defensive protection. An end swinger. Hoosier leapt into the air, couldn't get his head on it cleanly. Owadaleo was there. Holwarda gets it in with his back, and it goes out of play and off the end line. Another goal kick here for Aquinas. 2 goal scorers, both from the midfield for Aquinas. Finn Piddock out of Brighton, England, and Theo May from London. They've got the only 2 goals of the year, and they were 2 of those litany of all conference selections last season. Piddock, a second-team all-WAC selection, and Theo May, the newcomer of the year, and a first-team selection. Off of May's leg, connected to Calabrese, and now Taylor will sweep it forward with Partain, who tries to leg it out near side with Jay Talon trying to track him down. Right-footed bash to the far side, cut off by Piddock. Beautiful spin away by Andrea Giggini. And then Piddock will drive it to the other end with Hoofnagels trying to hustle after it. A little move from Hoosier. Hoofnagels will shoulder him back, and it goes out of play and back to the Trojans for a Spiegel goal kick. The last time we were here on this field with Spiegel being the starter, it was the match against Madonna that went down as a no contest, as the Trojans and the Crusaders were just a little under 10 minutes away from making the match official when a giant rainstorm rolled in, thunder and lightning and rain. And then lightning kept hanging around in the area, and so we could just never break through that 30-minute clock that you have to clear once you get a bit of lightning within the certain mile radius. And it's got a little bit too late, and it ended up that the game had to go down as no contest. One that the Trojans were winning 2-1, and it took away the first 2 collegiate goals of Colin Maris's career, 2 dandies. It would have been an impressive win for Taylor out of the WACs against the WACs Madonna Crusaders. Matipa comes back and will poke it all the way to the near side, and Cetrin for Taylor. 32.5 minutes left to go as Cetrin retreats and works it on back to Hoosier. Partain tries to box out Calabrese. And then off to Vanderkolk. Kicked back, and Vanderkolk will press forward. Trying to keep working to Partain. It's kicked out of play, and the Trojans will throw it in front of their own bench with Owen Cetrin. Cetrin bluffs throwing it up the field. Now does, right near midfield to Vanderkolk. Gives it right back to Cetrin. Yoder down to Vanderkolk at midfield. Pointed, and it was cut off nicely. Cetrin volleys it forward, and he couldn't drive that play. Look out, row number 3, as that one missiled in by Femi Owadaleo. Femi made sure to get that one out of play and did just that, screaming that one out down to the 3rd row. Cetrin flings it in. Holwarda got his head on it, couldn't connect with one of his teammates. Aquinas sends it back up to near midfield. Head start and a header from Colin Maris. Piddock with Partain chasing him down from behind, comes back and wins it. Nicely done by Quinn, one of the captains for the Trojans. .31:07 left to go here in the first half. Matipa and Partain have switched sides as Matipa plays it into the air, spins. Could not find any room forward, and Aquinas will clear it out of play. Almost a one-hand catch by assistant coach Jude Johansson. Cetrin will leave it, and they're going to bring in Colin Maris, and throwing in is one of Maris's specialties. Particularly a good amount of room to allow Maris to back up and heave it. And now he's got to run out of that room, and so will not be able to get as much of a head start as he would like, as he has to throw this one in front of the Aquinas bench. Still will get it into the 18, flicked back in by Vanderkolk, a defender in front of Holwarda. We'll check up Holwarda, taken down on the end line. It goes off of Holwarda, and tip your cap to Jay Talan. The midfielder from Ontario, Canada, comes in and deflects the ball off of Holwarda. And it looked like Luke could have let that one roll across the end line with no pressure, but Talan was right there, was right there trying to make pressure and put pressure on Holwarda and keep the ball from rolling across, and Talan does his job. Far side, Giggini, also from Italy. Long pass near side to Calabrese. Taylor looks for a handball that does not come, as Lockie finds Owadaleo. Long pass, read and intercepted and headed down by Jay McBride. Partain back to him with McBride on a dead run and cuts it down before it bounces out of play far sideline. McBride accelerates, crosses, backside Holwarda. Vanderkolk knocks it down, shoots it in, and it's good! Clay Vanderkolk scores his first career goal, and the Trojans take an early 1-0 lead with 29:04 left to go here in the first half. So James McBride comes in, gets the assist. First career goal for Clay Vanderkolk.
Goal number 13, Clay Vanderkolk, his first of the season, assisted by number 7, Luke Holwarda.
And so give Holwarda the assist. That'll be his second. So the Trojans strike first after giving up 5 straight goals dating back to the eventual game winner for Siena Heights a couple matches ago. This one sent high in the air, but the offside flag is down across from us on the attempt here for Aquinas. Second offside of the night against the Saints. This one comes against Milan Hoofnagels. James McBride, far sideline, who started that accelerated play forward. Partain steps in. Back to the center circle as Lockie and Aquinas will set things up, trailing 1-0. Ball bouncing away, and now Hoosier weaves through defenders. Back to Vanderkolk. Near side, Hoosier. Cetrin near sideline, and will left foot one forward. Leaping and heading it back in will be Lockie. The Englishman. Good challenge from Maris, and it goes out of play near side. Calabrese throws it in between the legs of his intended man, Ricardo Rittersberger. And Aquinas will quickly throw it in on the near sideline. Good read from Vanderkolk to poke it out of play. Calabrese into May. Lays it back to Clementson. Flicks it forward, letting it go over his head is Piddock. Nobody home, though, for Aquinas, and the Trojans get the ball back on the throw-in. Hoosier taken down from behind the play, wants a foul that does not come. Happened right in front of one of our assistant referees across from us. Hoosier back to his feet. Lets a little aggression out with a big right-footed blast near midfield. Cut down by Lockie. And then worked forward by Giagini. Clementson pivots. Good interception here from Holwarda. Long pass Yoder near side to the speedy Brian Matipa. He's got Vanderkolk cutting in front, and Matipa plays it there. Vanderkolk trying to find an extra gear. Taken down from behind by Owadaleo. Inside the 18, and the flags and the whistles stay in our referees' mouths. Flags stay down, whistles in mouths as Maris plays forward. Maris tackled near side, and here comes a card. It'll be a yellow card from Milan Hoofnagels. This is not surprising as Aquinas comes in with 14 yellow cards in their first 3 matches of the season, and now 15 in the first 3 and change. And we'll see if the officiating crew allows Owen Hardy to enter here. As he waits near midfield. They'll mark off the 10 yards as Theo May will be the only man separating Watterson from the 18. Matipa jogs around trying to find some room to cut as Watterson waits on the official's whistle. And there it is. Right foot into it from Watterson. Curls it towards the backside. Leaping are a couple Trojans. Couldn't get it there. Maris tried to get his toe on it. Does twice. Getting a piece of it was Piddock. And this one squirts out to the far side where Holwarda will step in front. Back to James McBride. Yoder will sweep it back to Hoosier. And then back up to Yoder. And then back to Hoosier. 1-0 Trojans on the first goal of the season for Clay Vanderkolk, who now presses it up to his buddy Partain, runs through Owadaleo, and then stares at him as the ball stays in play far sideline. That allows Owadaleo to get up and send it back into the fray. Here comes Owen Hardy for the Trojans. Senior from West Chicago, Illinois, takes the spot of Matipa. And we'll see if the two Saints players down below us will be allowed to come in as well. It looks like they will, so it'll be number 29, who we do not have on the roster. He replaces Owadaleo. And number 25, Mason Sills. 3 subs actually make it. Jasper Schinkel in as well, as Owadaleo, Ricardo Rittersberger, and one other Aquinas Saint will exit. Throw in for the Trojans as they lead 1-0. 20 minutes gone here in half number 1. Partain ready to set it up, but he took too much time as the ball is poked away from behind. Slow pass. Cetron will flick it forward right to Holwarda. Turns, and now he's the 2 defenders in front. Could not get through the nice challenge of Calabrese. Holwarda slides and wins it back as Watterson pokes it off to Hardy. Up near side, Holwarda, right edge of the 18. Holwarda looks to cross, does the right foot. That one headed away by the back line in Talon. Holwarda, more Jair this time, try to go backside Partain, read and head away by that mystery man, number 29 for Aquinas. His pass cut down by Yoder. Vanderkolk lost it on the initial touch, flicked it forward, and now Maris will volley it back into play. Partain got a toe on it, and the offside flag in the air against Partain. First offside against Taylor tonight. And Aquinas will press forward. Saints have scored just 2 goals all season. Are coming off of a 3-0 shutout at home against the Bethel Pilots out of the Crossroads League on Saturday, a team that Taylor will see later here in 2021. Quickly up the near side, Sills. Back to May, last year's newcomer of the year in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Maris takes it right off his toe beautifully with Watterson there to help him out. Nice job there from Maris. Cetron trying to size up Schinkel. It rolls out and is off of whom? Off of Aquinas. And the Trojans have the throw-in. Clementson has it taken away by Holwarda. Watterson finds Hoosier in the middle. Big ricochet off his calves. Or off his shins, excuse me. Then Aquinas sends it in deep. Calling everybody off will be Sam Spiegel. Spiegel almost loses it, but gets it right back before any pressure could come. Taylor reverses the point of attack from the far sideline to the near, and Cetron now presses forward. Watterson, big first touch, allows May to come back with those neon yellow boots and take it away, but then Cetron responds and takes it away from himself. Hardy couldn't box out Calabrese, who keeps moving forward, but then an errant pass intercepted by Watterson. Now Calabrese deflects. Forward, offside the call against Mason Sills. Third offside in the first half here against the visitors from Michigan. If you were with us last Wednesday for the women's soccer match, you know that sound well. It is the Taylor football team who has practice on Tuesday nights on this field. And just like they did on Wednesday for the women's soccer team against Georgetown, the Taylor football team, led by first-year head coach Aaron Mingo, here to make some noise down to our left with 21-15 left to go here in the opening half. Taylor on top, 1-0 against Aquinas. We'll see if the football team's joyous enthusiasm can help the boys get goal number 2. Yoder to the near side and Cetron. Wheels across midfield. Cetron behind Hardy. Good slide and deflecting it out is Calabrese. Here comes John Alzate. Out of Colombia, he replaces Holwarda. That center forward spot. Maris near sideline looking to throw in. He has Vanderkolk walking around inside the penalty area. Maris has got to get it in sometime. Throws it to the end line. Alzate was off on the run, and that one sails out of bounds. A goal kick upcoming for Aquinas. Before that comes, Taylor's Matt Harold winner. He replaces Owen Cetron. Harold, 5'10", sophomore out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. He and Jackson Hoosier, graduates of the Classical Academy. Whiffing on the big kick will be Lockie, and that allows Alzate to scoop it up for the time being, but he couldn't do anything with it. A mighty whiff from Lockie as he tried to kick that one and send it all the way to the other end. Now racing up near side is Sills. Harold bumps into him, falls down, Sills gets it back, but a weak cross goes off his own heel. And credit the hustle there from Harold to knock Sills off of his path right before he was ready to cross it over. As James McBride was working back on the far sideline, he dribbles it out of play. 19 minutes left to go in the first half. It is 1-0 Taylor on the goal. First of the season for Clay Vanderkolk, the senior. No shots yet for Aquinas. And then Theo May loses it, and now Alzate will scoop it up. Tried to sidestep Clemenson, who takes it right off of the toe. Clemenson gets it back in the middle of the field, pressing forward to May, trying to let a shot go, does, and that one sails wide and high of the near side of the goal. And then for good measure, Sawyer Watterson in the middle says that ball also misses the football uprights. And on cue, the Taylor football team will now go to practice as they go get ready to take on Olivet Nazarene coming up on Saturday night in Chicago. Luke Holwarda gives the football team a round of applause for their effort and their energy. Out of bounds near side, and Harold will ready to quickly throw it in for TU. Under 18 to go here in the first half. A 1-0 advantage for Taylor. Off a deflection, Clemenson tries to run away from Vanderkolk and does, and now wants to get away from Watterson. Underneath the feet of Sills, nobody home for Aquinas, and that's easy work for Spiegel, the Taylor keeper. Maris, right footing it forward. Headed down near side by Aquinas' Joe Lockie. And then Calabrese will send it all the way to the other end. Far sideline, Jay McBride. Stops and left foots one to the middle, and Levi Yoder. And now Harold. Maris points where he wants everyone to go and comes near side to Harold. Up to Yoder. Near sideline. Hardy cannot flick it forward. Yoder comes in trying to help him out. To land forward for Aquinas, and now off to Jigeni. Long pass that Yoder reads and intercepts into the center circle for Taylor. Partain back to Yoder. Looks to his left, to his right, now back to his left. No one forward, and he'll lay it back to midfield where he finds Hoosier. Hoosier, big right foot. Hardy all by his lonesome near side. Knocks it down with the right foot. They invite him to go to his left, and he does. Brace on that left knee. Hardy tried to move it forward. It was deflected before he could get to Watterson. Then coming through with a big right foot karate kick will be Hardy. Now to play off of Aquinas. This could be a perfect spot for Maris to back all the way up near the stands and really fling one in from the near sideline. 16:08 and counting in the first half. It's a 1-0 Taylor lead on the Vanderkolk goal, his first of the season. Maris backs up all the way to the concrete. and fires that one in. Flicked back into the air by Vanderkolk, leaping and getting this one, and then colliding with the keeper will be Jackson Hoosier. He sends Stracioto down to the turf, and the athletic training staff's going to have to come out and take a look at Stracioto as some of Stracioto's teammates come in and give our lead official an earful. They're going to wave Hoosier forward. The two of them, Stracioto and Hoosier, given a talking to by our lead official. Hoosier makes sure he's okay, and the card will stay in the pocket. That's two 6'2" guys locking horns in the air. Good to see Stracioto up and okay. Athletic trainer Joe Walter made his way down there in case his services were needed. They were not. And now Aquinas will play from the back. With 15:35 and counting left to go here in the first. A 1-0 Taylor lead as they try to snap a 2-match losing skid. Yoder flicks it near side. This one off target. Hardy had to come back to get it. Yoder trying to work it forward to land. Will send it back over his head. Harold. Little shakeaway move from Watterson for Taylor. Up to Vanderkolk, the goal scorer. He's got Clemenson on his back. Lays it back to Hoosier, who will dribble up the far side and find James McBride. McBride races. Dumps left side to Partain. Crosses with that left foot. McBride was right there, just off target as one of the Aquinas backline members got there before McBride did. Maris heads it to the other end and won't find anyone wearing white. And so Clemenson works up to those wearing gray and Piddock. One of the 2 goal scorers on the season for Aquinas. Nice little move to get free on the right edge of the penalty area. Sends it in right foot, deflected in. Spiegel smothers it up, and the flag was in the air for an offside against Aquinas if that ball would have gotten past Spiegel. Instead, he smothers it up for the save, and it stays 1-0 home team. Pablo Gonzalez Cacho ready to enter. Headed back by Aquinas. Alzate tries to find it. Lockheed forward. Watterson down into space. Vanderkolk and Alzate were both there. It's driven away by Clemenson with his big left foot. And too aggressive of a challenge from the Trojans' Jackson Hoosier as he trips up Piddock. And Aquinas has got the free kick from the defensive end. They go from right to left in gray. Couple of shots for the Saints on the night. The Trojans with 4. 2 on frame and 1 that has beaten the keeper, Stracioto. That comes from Vanderkolk, the senior from Grand Rapids, Michigan, right where Aquinas is located. We've seen his wife, Allie, score plenty of goals for the women's soccer team this season. Good to see Mr. Vanderkolk get the goal, and he'll exit here for Gonzalez Cacho. We'll look at the stands for Vanderkolk. It looks like Vanderkolk's going to get a little medical attention here in the medical tent down below us from athletic trainer Joe Walter. Flicked forward by Yoder. Foot race for Hardy. Winning it and sending it away is Calabrese. Harold will throw it in for TU in front of the Aquinas bench on the near sideline. Harold looking for an outlet somewhere. Looks forward. Gonzalez Cacho comes in and provides the outlet. Back to Harold. Steps in front. Side steps him in as he maneuvers to the left. Back to Gonzalez Cacho. Left foot's one all the way to the far side, and James McBride as Taylor shoots on the goal to our right. Up to the outside forward and Quinn Partain. Now Gonzalez Cacho. One in McBride. Couldn't get him. Popped into the air, trying to find it as Hardy as Watterson as he boxes out his man. Near side to Hardy. They give Hardy his left. Side step move. Back to Gonzalez Cacho. Big left foot. Curls it over the crossbar and out of play as Pablo lost his footing. In comes Jackson Moore for Aquinas. 5'8" senior from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Replaces Mason Sills of Grand Rapids. 11.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. And the goal from Clay Vanderkolk, his first of the season, gives Taylor the 1-0 lead right now as they try to erase this 2-0 or 2-match skid they've been on, dropping one in overtime to Siena Heights last week in the middle of the week, and then here on Saturday against Missouri Baptist. Spiegel rifles one forward. Alsate pushed from behind. Aquinas trying to win it on the near side with Calabrese. He'll send this one into the stands to our left. Moses Kabuswe in for Taylor. He takes a spot of Hardy as the outside forward on the near side. Back to Harold. Got around one man, moves it forward to Gonzalez Cacho, feels the pressure on his right shoulder, and Clementson. Alsate wanted to move it forward. Clementson comes in and sends it deep. Little back heel flick from Hoosier, right to Yoder. And now Watterson. Make that Maris, and Taylor gives it right back at midfield with Clementson. Calabrese hustling after it's Kabuswe. Harold spins his man down and takes down Jackson Moore. Foul against the Trojans with 10 minutes left to go here in the first half. As Aquinas looks for the equalizer here on a free kick. May and Calabrese on top of it as they back up Kabuswe. May will take it. Curls in right foot, headed up by Partain. Near side, Kabuswe knocks it down, and Partain will flick it forward. Attempting to hold it in is Piddock. Open space, and the Trojans, Kabuswe and Alsate check up. And it goes out and right back to Taylor and Matt Harold, who will throw it in. Harold just walked an extra 10 yards forward on the throw-in. But he can't connect with any of his teammates, and Aquinas lays it on back to their keeper, Stracciotto. Giagini, right foot's one high, wants to connect with Jackson Moore, but it's cut off by Maris of Taylor. To Land, up to May, the newcomer of the year a year ago in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. Sophomore midfielder from London. Then Aquinas plays it out, and Taylor throws it in with Alsate. Plays it over his shoulder, but played it too hard, and Clementson steps on top of it for Aquinas. Hoosier can't move it forward, and now taken away nicely by Yoder on a charge up the middle by Piddock. Partain forward to Gonzalez Cacho. Back again to the racing James McBride. Lays it off to Alsate. Far side to Gonzalez Cacho, who cuts it off. Left footing forward, wanted Watterson, who was coming through the middle. Now here's Yoder in the middle, who works it back, and Gonzalez Cacho cuts it off left of center. Gonzalez Cacho forward, run for Watterson end line, trying to save it, and he cannot as it careens off of his boot and across the end line. Giagini. Back to Lockie. And now Giagini right to center as Aquinas moves from right to left. A long ball forward. Leaping and cutting it off is Hoosier. Holding it in will be Aquinas. Trying to work through the middle. There was Schinkel. Runs into a whole bunch of guys as Schinkel spins down, turns and complains for a call that does not come. To Land. Dances with both Hoosier and Kabuswe. To the center circle and Clementson. Left foots it forward, cut off by the chest of Matt Harold of Taylor, who then kicks it out of play. Less than 7 to go here in the opening half. Aquinas with a throw-in in the front of the Taylor bench on the sideline down below us. Trailing the Trojans 1-0. Clay Vanderkolk, your goal scorer, and the assist to Luke Holwarda, his second of the year. And time is called as one of the Aquinas players needs to retie his left boot, so that's why we are held up. Before Calabrese can throw it in, it was his teammate Jasper Schinkel out of the Netherlands. Throwing up the near sideline. Deflected down and sent away by Hoosier. Between the legs of our lead official into the 18. Backside there, Piddock, touch back in. May will send that one high as he rings it off the football upright. Beautiful little two-man game there between the only two goal scorers on the season for Aquinas. Piddock trying to find May, who got a little bit of sliver of room inside the penalty area, but got too much underneath the ball and ricocheted high. And then Taylor turns it over, and May jumps on top for Aquinas. Three defenders there, lays it back, and the only one there was Sawyer Watterson of Taylor. Laying out to the far side of the mystery man, number 29. And now May slips it through with multiple men around him. And Maris will send it back across midfield. And the only ones there are the Aquinas back line. And now to their keeper, Strasiota. Quickly near side to Lockie. Less than 6 to go in the first half. A 1-0 Taylor advantage on the Vanderkolk goal. Midfield in Caboose way. As Taylor moves from left to right and white, too far in front of Watterson. Yoder steps in front and wins the ball back near side to Harold. The outside back looks to create and dumps it back to the center back and Colin Maris and his fellow center back in Jackson Hoosier. James McBride chests it down. Midfield Gonzalez Cacho. A touch from Partain. But too much pressure from the Aquinas defense, and now they'll set up in the defensive end. Middle field of Clemenson. Jay McBride jumps and chests it down. Partain to Gonzalez Cacho, and now Yoder. In the middle where this would be Colin Maris. Hoosier on the left side of the field, defensive end for Taylor. Gets it back from Yoder with 4:35 and ticking here in the first half, and Taylor leading 1-0. Ball sent out of play skyward off of Gonzalez Cacho. He can't believe it, as he thought it went off of the Aquinas defender. Nice little individual move from Schinkel. Got away from a couple guys, but couldn't get for the last one in his way in Maris. And the Trojans move the other way. Left to right and white, leading 1-0 on the goal from Vanderkolk. Aquinas quickly back on the right side. Nice hustle from Jay McBride to hustle down Piddock from behind. Poked away by Partain, sliding his Hoosier. And the Trojans come out of the fray with it. Partain going for a leisurely jog up the left side. Back to the midfield area. And then back to Partain left side. Up to Watterson. And now Partain. Taylor attacks the goal to our right. Partain trying to find an edge. Knocked out by Piddock. Jay McBride looks, and finds Gonzalez Cacho. Gonzalez Cacho reverses the point of attack, lifting it to the near side, and Alzate. Two defenders there, plays it around one. Kabuswe tries to edge his way in, could not as Lockie pushed him out of the way. Out off of Kabuswe, and Aquinas to throw it in on the near sideline, deep in the defensive end, with 2:45 and counting here in half number one, trailing by 1. Giagini trying to run the point. And gets it back right of center in the defensive end. Big right foot forward. Hoosier cuts it off with a back heel flick of his right foot. And the Trojans able to connect from Gonzalez Cacho to Partain. Center circle. Nice long pass. Watterson to Alsate. Checked up to come back to get it. Couple dances over the ball. Right-footed cross. Could not slice through all the way to the intended target in Watterson. Alsate, though, dumps it back to Harold on the near sideline with 2:05 to go in the first. Back to the middle. Gonzalez Cacho. James McBride comes back to get it. McBride accelerates. Stops, accelerates again, draws the eyes of two defenders, bumps off one, and lays it back to Gonzalez Cacho. Big left foot, wanted Alsate backside, flicked away, and across the end line by Giuseppe Calabrese. And the Trojans will take their fourth corner of the night here in the first half. Aquinas has yet to take one, and they came into the night with a 25-7 advantage in corners against their opponents in the first three matches of the season. And Partain will take his time making it to the corners. We're below 90 seconds remaining before halftime. So Partain wants to almost make this as a last-second shot, if you will. As we're about to hit the 1 minute mark, I would be surprised if he plays this before we get to the 50-second mark. And there's the 1 minute call. So Partain plays it in with 55 seconds. Look, back curler leaping and snagging it out of the air. Estracioto, the keeper. So with less than 50 seconds to go, we'll see if Aquinas has one more push in them. They've got 3 shots in the first half. Taylor with 5. 2 on goal for Taylor, 1 for Aquinas. Now it'll be Clementson. Near side, Lockie. Left footing it to the middle of the field, attacking sides. Man slips down. That was Schinkel. Now with 25 seconds, Taylor will press from left to right. Too far for Partain. That allows Aquinas to hold it in with Calabrese. Back to Clementson. Gonzalez Cacho pokes it away. He and Kabuswe run into each other. That'll stop the Trojan cause here in the first half. One last push from Aquinas, snuffed away by Maris, sent back in high and wide, and that will bring our first 45 minutes to a close. First goal of the season for Clay Vanderkolk, and after one half of play, the Trojans lead Aquinas 1-0 here on the Trojans Sports Network. We're back at the BSN Sports Halftime Report after this. Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland is proud to support Taylor University Athletics. Located at 148 South Main Street, Best One is open 6 days a week. Owner Mike Pearson and his staff offer replacement tires from brands like Bridgestone, Firestone, and Goodyear. Customers can also shop for tires from the comfort of their home by using the online tire finder. When it's time for mechanical repairs, Best One's ASE certified technicians can perform a wide range of services to get their customers back on the road. And those same technicians can do repairs on fleet vehicles as well. Taylor Athletics says thank you to Mike Pearson and everyone at Best One Tire and Auto Care Upland.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
be your nephew's #1 fan. Holiday Inn Express. We're there, so you can be too.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH, from our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the Athletic Department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the Athletic Department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body, and its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH, from our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments, in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or it can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University athletics. Greek's Pizzeria, it's our taste.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director's Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the Athletic Department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes. Back underway here in Upland, Indiana. Taylor leading 1-0. They took 4 shots in the first half, 2 for Aquinas. And the Trojans are able to get the only 2 shots on goal in our first half as well. 2 teams have switched sides. Taylor go from right to left here in the second half. Aquinas the opposite way. Taylor trying to move to 5-2 on the year. Aquinas trying to pick up their first win. They come in 0-2-1. Big turnover for Taylor in the attacking half. May couldn't get away from Yoder. J. McBride, a little tap up to Partain. As the Trojans starting 11th, the start of the match, back out there to start half number 2. Foot race here, won by that mystery man, number 29 for Aquinas. Back heel flick from Matipa. Here comes Aquinas pressing from left to right. Out on the pass, far side attempted by Giuseppe Calabrese. And once again, Taylor will try to get it across midfield for the first time here in the second half. Jay Talan. Back heel flick from May. Near side, pass telegraphed and read by James McBride as Aquinas tried to connect with Finn Piddock. Both players fall down with McBride, then Partain tripped from behind by Piddock. That'll be the first foul of the second half here against Aquinas, and the clock will stop. As a warning comes to, I think that's Jackson Moore, number 15. Hoosier. Sidestep Schinkel. Jay McBride to midfield and Yoder. Try to fake away from Clemenson and lays it back to Maris. Open space is Hoosier. 2 defenders right there for Aquinas. And then he dumps it to the middle and Maris. Up to Vanderkolk, our only goal scorer of the night. Bump from behind, loses the ball. Talan couldn't keep it away as Holward able to deflect to Vanderkolk. In the middle to Watterson. Near side to Partain. Left edge of the 18. Partain trying to get to the end line. Little stutter step. Too big of a sweep as that one goes off the right foot of Partain and out of play. Taylor trying to create something there early on in the second half, but just maybe one extra too many touches for Partain. Trying to get it back to his left foot, and as he did, there was too much juice on it from the right. 2-man bracket May of Aquinas. That's off the foot of a Taylor player. And now they'll stop the clock again for the second time in the first 4 minutes. The Aquinas bench upset. The Taylor bench upset. The Aquinas coaching staff not happy with our lead official, who now comes and talks with the assistant referee on the near sideline. Trying to figure out who that ball went off of. It looks like it's going to go off of Jackson Moore of Aquinas. And Luke Ruff, the third-year Saints head coach, comes and talks things over with the lead official. So you have to stop the clock because they're going to have to put some more time back on it here. So let's see what the time is. .41-18. I think we're going to have to put some more time back on it as 2 of our officials double-check the time that they have. So play has come to a standstill here in the first 4 minutes. And our crowd mic's good enough, we'll be able to hear what the time is. So they're going to put 41-45 back on the clock. And Taylor will throw it in with James McBride on the near sideline. This one flicked on back by Clemenson. Forward to the near side to Hoosier. Heads it down in space. James McBride able to deflect it off of the knees of Piddock. And Taylor will throw it in on the defensive end once again, near side. Hoosier heads. McBride trying to knock it down. His brother Paul dealing with a lower body injury. We've yet to see one of the top goal scorers from a year ago yet this year for TU. But the Trojans have picked up the slack with no Paul McBride so far this year. Much more diversified goal-scoring output than what we saw a season ago, when the Trojans scored just 12 goals in 12 matches. They have just matched that here in the first 6 matches plus this match number 7 of the year. So good news for the Trojans offensively, as goals were hard to come by a year ago. Headed out of play by Hoosier. And Aquinas will throw it in with Finn Piddock. And it'll be Jackson Moore to throw it in. Partain up to Holwarda near midfield for TU. And now the big fella Jackson Hoosier goes for a run, but he can't run through the challenge of Andrea Giggini. Giggini glides near side. The Italian sends it to the middle. Maris will head it away. Vanderkolk races and touches this ball into space as it lags behind him, able to run through the first challenge and finds Partain. Then Vanderkolk spills down, and there's the whistle and the foul against Aquinas. As the Taylor fans down below us try to bait Clay's wife, Allie, into his classic line, I don't know, or other classic lines that Clay likes to trot out during home women's soccer matches when he's allowed to attend. That's going to get a little bit tougher now, as both the men's and women's teams about to jump into league play on Saturday. They're going to play on the same day, just in different venues, and more often than not, at the same time. The one time that won't be the case is when we have a full Wednesday night of Taylor soccer and Taylor volleyball taking on Huntington. With no lights at Huntington, they play their midweek matches during the day. Look at Matipa trying to take it all the way through a host of Aquinas defenders. He looks for a handball, but it falls on deaf ears as Jackson Moore will press it up far side for Aquinas. Vanderkolk back to Matipa. 6 minutes in to the first half of soccer time. We've played much more because of the couple of different stoppages in the first 5 minutes. Still 1-0 Taylor. 4 shots to 3 in favor of the home team. And then Hoosier drives this one into the student section across from us. Vanderkolk pokes this one out of play. Good work by Matipa. Takes it away, and now Partain has some space near side and now rotates over that left shoulder and drops it on back to Hoosier. Up to Partain, who lets it roll to Holwarda. Left footing forward to Jay McBride. Back to the cutting Partain. Defenders converge as Quinn tried to maneuver to the middle. Could not, lost it. Holwarda tries to hold it in, and it'll be cleared away by the back line and Joshua Clemenson of Aquinas. McBride with a man on his back, circles away and finds Hoosier. Touches and sends it all the way back to the freshman Spiegel. First official start here at home for Sam. Trying to get Holwarda on an edge. Headed in, Holwarda presses in, but it'll be a few 2 steps short as Antonio Strasiotto out of Italy, the keeper clad in pink, able to snag that one before Holwarda could do something with it. Aquinas tries to touch it around Hoosier. Swept in by Piddock. A slide. Safe into second is Maris, and the ball out of play. Schinkel, Piddock, crosses, backside of the box, deflected down. Yoder knifes his way forward and plays it forward to Clementson. Vanderkolk there for pressure. Clementson into space, and tracking it down is Calabrese. Off of Taylor, and Aquinas will retain. Calabrese again, left side, marked by Matipa. Want to go to the middle. Now Calabrese back far side. Nice tackle by Matipa. It's out of play, but good challenge there by Two and White. End line. 3 Taylor players there as an Aquinas player goes for a spill. Held in by Clementson of Aquinas. Backheel flick. Piddock wanted May. Ushered away by Yoder as he made sure May couldn't get a clean touch. Cross midfield, Holwarda trying to get a head start. Up to Jane McBride, near side as McBride works to the middle. Back to the wide open spaces in Vanderkolk. To the right of center and Watterson. Back to Vanderkolk, tries to sweep it forward. Back heel flick, nobody there, still loose, deflected up. And tracking it out of play. And off of Taylor as the Trojans tried to talk their way into a corner. And before Aquinas can play it in, Owen Hardy will make his first second half appearance as he comes in to get Matipa from the right forward spot on the far side of the field. .44-45 left to go in this second half. Taylor on top, 1-0. Piddock. Back to Clementson. Steps through 2 challenges. Back to Piddock on the near side of the field. His cross blocked by McBride and off the end line, across the end line. And here comes the corner. First one of the night for Aquinas. May, the newcomer of the year last year in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference, will take it. As the rain drops starting to fall, as you can hear the footsteps of the Taylor students making their way up the bleachers to higher ground. Headed in, and into the back of the net on the goal from the mystery man, number 29 for Aquinas. From the near side, and we're all level at 1 on a beautiful ball sent in near side by Theo May. That'll be May's first assist of the year. It'll be the 3rd different goal scorer here for Aquinas. So give the goal to Liam Travers, wearing number 29 tonight. Transfer from Saginaw Valley State. So May on the assist. And we are level at 1 as the rain is starting to come down overhead. We thought the rain might stay away for the majority of the night. Definitely not as high of a percentage as what we saw when the day started as Holwarda spun out of bounds. Ball goes with him, and it's a throw in for Partain back in to his Wheaton Academy mate Holwarda. Shoved away by Jagini. Holwarda down for a spill again off the end line, and a goal kick for Aquinas. As they've leveled the match at 1 here in the right in the 56th minute on the nose. The Vanderkolk goal coming back in minute number 16. So they're trying to avoid dropping their 3rd match in a row. Falling to 4-3 in non-league action before they jump in to Crossroads League play here Saturday night against Mount Vernon Nazarene. Not as heavy rain as we've seen before, but a steady enough pace where the Taylor students down below us don't want to sit in it for the most part. A couple brave souls out there, and some folks wisely brought their umbrellas with them. Free kick far side for Aquinas with the match even at 1. A low one that goes right to Partain. Couldn't clear it away, held in by Travers. And he'll drive this one out of play. Travers, second team all WAC selection a year ago, playing in just his second match of the season. And gets his first goal of the year for the junior from Hartlepool, England. Hoosier volleys it in over the head of the jumping Holwerda. Vanderkolk tries to muscle his way through, and now Yoder will work it on back to Maris as the rain has picked up in intensity here at Turner Stadium. Foul far side as a Trojan goes for a spill. That'll be Owen Cetron, the Biola transfer. On the turf, looks for a card that will not come. It'll be just the fifth foul of the night here for Aquinas. Rain coming straight down with no wind to speak of. Ball sent in by Hoosier on the free kick. Vanderkolk tries across the end line. Holwerda's got his hands extended, palms to the sky. Trying to argue that should go off of an Aquinas player, and I think Holwerda's going to win the argument. And he shall. So Taylor will get their sixth corner of the night, their first one here of the second half, as they try to go back in front after the goal about 4 minutes ago by Liam Travers. Watterson to take it near side. Will come into the right side of Strasiota. Right hand into the air, right foot of the ball from Watterson. Backside and swinger. And a nice track there from the keeper Strasiota to backpedal and snag it with Hoosier, trying to cut in on the far side post. Long ball out of play from Aquinas, and Taylor will throw it in on the near side of the field. Matipa. Travers steps in front. Yoder tracks and now it's deflected down in May's direction. Chesting forward is Colin Maris for Taylor. Deflected but right on pace to Watterson. Near side Partain, two defenders converge, steps through and finds James McBride as an outlet. Watterson back to Hoosier. Into the middle of the field in Maris. Plenty of room to work. As Maris drives one through the raindrops, Hardy wants to redirect to the middle. Up the far sideline, will stay in play. Hardy gets his foot in front and plays up the far sideline down to Holwerda. Pressure comes, Holwerda taken down from behind. Foul on Joe Lockey. Number 6 against the visitors. 1-1 with less than 29 minutes remaining here in the second half. This could be an opportunity for Partain to use that left foot. Instead, it's going to be Watterson from the far side of the field to take it with his right. Two-man wall in front of Sawyer Watterson. Those are May and Moore. Over the wall. Out of the reach of Holwerda. Headed into the air. Still in the middle. Punched away by the leaping Aquinas keeper. Right side of the box. And it'll be dribbled out by Holwerda as Taylor tries to reset. A leap and a punch from Strasiota. To the center circle and James McBride, who now races away from Schinkel. Up the near side, Schinkel holds on to his arm, able to deal it off to Partain. Hoosier right there. Partain trying to split two men. He's taken down. Two players worse for wear, no whistle. And now it comes, and it's going to go against Partain. Joshua Clementson was the one to slow to get back up, and he's magically healed and will jog back to the other end. Fifth foul of the night against Taylor. It's going to be the keeper Antonio Strasiota to take this free kick for the Aquinas Saints. Clad in gray tonight, their keeper Strasiota in hot pink. Got a right foot into it. Vanderkolk leaps over everyone. Partain tangled up, and he draws the foul against Travers. Foul number 7 against the Saints. Shots even at 4 apiece. Taylor with the edge in shots on goal. 2-1, but Aquinas has scored on their only try on the frame. Taylor does have the advantage in corners 6-1. As the rain has slowed down here for the time being. Still sprinkling straight down, but not as heavy as we saw earlier. And Al Holroda called for the foul as Travers ends up on his belly. Holroda can't believe it. 7th foul against Taylor as Holroda still upset as he jogs to cover Aquinas on the far side with Lockie moving it forward. Heading it back, too far for Jackson Moore. Hardy, a lot of pace on this one, so Cetron's got to race all the way back near the end line. Taylor deep in the defensive end. Tries to work it up the far sideline. Aquinas tries to hold it in. Nice move from Yoder. Hardy up to Holroda. Hardy cut down, and now Hardy comes up, and he's got some words for the Aquinas player across from us. Hardy cut down, and he got right in the face of it looked to be Joe Lockie, who just picked up the yellow card for the Saints. So wait and see officially who the card is against. It was definitely against an Aquinas player. Looks like they're actually going to give it to number 6, Joshua Clementson. Both he and Lockie were in there. And whoever it was turned around and got an earful from Hardy. It's either Clementson or Lockie, one of those two guys. But either way, Hardy was unhappy with whoever took him down at the legs. Clock stops at 25:48 left to go here in the second half. 1-1 our score as Aquinas able to tie it up almost 10 minutes ago. Maris, his pass intended for Watterson, cut off and intercepted by Theo May. Piddock races back, and then Aquinas drives it in deep. Maris cuts it off with his forehead as he leaps in the air. McBride back to Yoder, poked away from him by Talan. Up near side to May as Maris marks him on the right side. May crosses. Spiegel watches it deflect down. Back in. It's missed on the near side as the Trojans almost will find themselves down 2-1. It was Cetron in the middle. He tried to kick it away on the backside and went right to Jasper Schinkel, whose shot went screaming wide right of the goal. Vanderkolk out. Pablo Gonzalez Cacho in for Taylor. With less than 25 minutes left to go here in half number 2. Nolan Hunter about to make his first appearance of the night here for Aquinas. Flicked back. Taylor trying to get that second touch forward. They cannot. And it's sent away by Clementson up the near side of the field. Jay McBride bumps with Piddock. Talan able to hold it in. Near side, Piddock races to his left and will work it back to Talan. His pass intercepted by the newcomer, Gonzalez Cacho. Too far for Watterson. His pass poked, but Gonzalez Cacho right there to pick it up. Left foot across midfield. Holroda too high to get to Partain as the rain has stopped here in Upland, Indiana for the time being. Checking out his Finn Piddock, and looks like he's holding his right hip as Nolan Hunter will come in to replace him. Second match of the year for the freshman Hunter out of Grand Rapids. Sent to the middle. Yoder to the other end, and then Lockie sends it back to where it came from for Aquinas. Jay McBride touches it down. Talan forward. Once Schinkel plays it off of Hoosier. And a nice play there from Nolan Hunter to land right of center. Stops. Cutting in Hunter, crossing with a right foot on the turf, cut off by Maris inside the 18. Up to Partain near side, tries to race away from Talan. Stop and start, runs through the challenge, and Aquinas wins the ball back quickly. May. Watterson comes back to help, pokes it away, but Taylor unable to get it away cleanly as Hoosier steps in front of the Aquinas pass. Little side step of May finds Gonzalez Cacho in the middle of the field. Left footing it far side to Hardy, just outside midfield. Plays it between the legs of Jackson Moore. Holwarda back to the middle, and now Hoosier, who's got men racing in front of him. Hoosier slips, and it looks like he was helped there by Talan. Actually make that Gonzalez Cacho, I think. Yep, see Hoosier 17 in the back. It was Gonzalez Cacho. Taken down by someone from Aquinas in the middle of the field. Right now it stands as just a foul. The Taylor fans wanting a yellow card to come out to be the third yellow of the night against an Aquinas player. Gonzalez Cacho back up, still trying to walk that off a little bit. So just a foul against Aquinas, their 8th. So we've got 21-50 and counting here in the second half. 3-man wall in front of Watterson and Hoosier, along with Partain, who stand about, let's call it 21 yards inside midfield. Ball placed right of center with Taylor shooting on the goal to our left with the match tied at 1. We'll see if Watterson tries to play it on frame. Flicks it into the 18, headed up by Hoosier, trying to keep it back in as Yoder, but the flag is in the air across from us. Offside, the call against TU. Second offside against the Trojans tonight. As Damir Sabanovic in for Aquinas, replacing Talan. Setrin out for Taylor. Matt Harold in for the first time in half 2. 1-1. Taylor has yet to go to overtime this season. Actually, let me take that back. They've gone to overtime once, I apologize. That was their first loss of the last 2 times out against Siena Heights last week. Have yet to get a draw on the year. They come in 4-2. And now Maris called for the foul as he used May to leap into the air. 8th foul against the home team. As Aquinas enters the match 0-2-1, trying to pick up their first win of the year for the preseason number 3 pick out of the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. This is their final tune-up before WAC play starts in a couple of days. And the same thing for the Trojans. They'll jump into Crossroads League play here Saturday night against the Cougars of Mount Vernon Nazarene. 2-man wall, Hardy and Partain. As Calabrese and May stand over it. May takes it, right foot low, cut right off by the Trojans. Back in front, a screamer in, deflected off of someone inside the 18 off the hip of Hoosier. Aquinas looks for a handball inside the 18 on an absolute rip from the middle of the field from Nolan Hunter. But it was blocked out across the end line, and it'll be just the second corner of the night here for Aquinas. As we approach 19 minutes left to go here in the second half in a match even at 1. May readies on the far side corner to take it. It'll come into the right of Spiegel in the goal to our right. An in-swinger headed away by the Trojans and Hoosier. Trying to hold it in is Clementson. Coming away to win the challenge as Hoosier turns and sweeps it right up to Holwarda. Off the back heel, eludes one man, and now Holwarda's got men racing in front if he can find him. Double teamed. They wrap up Holwarda. He squirts free, but he can't break away from Clementson, who is standing right there. Quick ball in far side. Onside will be Jackson Moore. Left side of the 18 with Harold in front. Back to May. Right-footed shot blocked by the sliding Colin Maris, and it's kicked away by Harold on the back end. Partain near side, flicked away from him, and now James McBride will pick it up. He's got some room to work. Long ball near side. Taylor with the far side and Owen Hardy. Still with a brace on that left knee after getting a lower body injury in the first match of the year. Harold. Backside play to Hoosier in the defensive end. Hoosier glides up near midfield looking for help, and he finds it in Gonzalez Cacho. The freshman from Spain. Too far for Partain, and it rolls softly into the 18 and scooped up by the keeper Stracciotto of Aquinas. Vanderkolk to re-enter here in a few moments, along with John Alzate, who will make his second half appearance. Jagini forward. Yoder heads it down to the middle in Zabanovic. The junior from Grand Rapids finds Lockhew, drives it forward where he connects with May. Yoder there on his hip. May wants to turn back to the middle now, goes back to the far sideline. Jagini, left-footed flick forward. Over the head of Schinkel, and now Taylor will clear with Hoosier in the middle. Bat one through a whole host of folks. And now Aquinas resets just outside midfield. Forward they play it to Schinkel. Flicked in, and here comes Aquinas the other way to the backside. Nobody home to defend for Taylor. Trying to recover on the Trojans. Good little move to the end line, trying to cross it in. This one knifed down by Yoder on the recovery. No one was there on the backside for the Trojans to try to slow down Jackson Moore. But the cross on the near side from Nolan Hunter was just a hair off. And that gave the Trojans the opportunity to come back and defend before it was 1v1, Moore v. Spiegel. Third corner of the night for Aquinas. All have come here after halftime. Partain out there for Taylor, anticipating a short corner. Instead, this one flicked into the 18. Right there, Spiegel. High points, and it comes down with it in traffic. And thankfully for him, just friendly traffic with his teammates surrounding him on both sides. First official home start for Spiegel in his freshman season. After the one against Madonna a few weeks ago, ruled a no contest because the match didn't reach the 70-minute mark that you need to make a soccer match official. Far side throw in, 3 subs in for the Trojans. Returning Brian Matipa and Clay Vanderkolk. First second half appearance for John Alzate. Yoder out along with Hardy and Holwerda. As Hoosier lumbers to the near side, and will get the water bottle thrown to him from James McBride. A healthy swig for 17 and white. As Taylor throws it in on the far sideline, quickly sent away by Aquinas. Maris leaps, almost hurdled the man in front of him for the Saints. And now Hoosier, freshly hydrated on the defensive end, will give it off to the far side of the field and Harold. Harold, big left-footed blast. Alzate collides with Lockheed. And it's down right to the feet of Gonzalez Cacho. Big ball near side to Partain. A couple bounces, and Partain able to leg it out. Partain works back to his right foot, crosses with that right. Backside play, flicked away right before it could land to the feet of Gonzalez Cacho. And Pablo goes back to get it and finds Matt Harold up on the far sideline. 15:03 to go, second half. Midfield line, Maris along that line to the near side in Hoosier. 1-1. As either tries to break their 2-match skid. Maris in the defensive end, about 10 yards outside of it. Outside of midfield, excuse me. Harold to Matipa trying to turn. He can really scoot, but cut off at the last moment, and it's kicked out of play. And before Taylor can throw it in, Setron will come in and give Partain a breather with 14 and a half minutes left in regulation and our match deadlocked at 1. Partain, the Trojans' top goal scorer this year with 3. Maris, who has a goal to his name, will throw it in on the far sideline. Trying to find a man into the penalty area, flicked away by Aquinas. But a Saints player is down in the defensive end. We'll take a break with 14:04 left to go here in the second half, and the match tied at 1. The hurt Aquinas Saint was Giuseppe Calabrese. He is back to his feet and back out at his outside back position. Aquinas with the ball as they try to take their first lead of the night with 13:30 and counting here in half number 2. 1-1 our score on the goal from Clay Vanderkolk for Taylor and the goal from Liam Travers for Aquinas, both the first of the year for both of those young men. Taylor head coach Gary Ross not happy with some of the play from Aquinas on these free kicks. Fancy footwork far side from the Trojans. Hoosier has got to leg it out a little bit extra to get to it on the near side. Big first touch forward as he glides up. Right foot flick forward. Alzate tries to turn on the Jets. A long one as Giggini will cut him off, and it's a goal kick here for Aquinas and Strasiotto. Lockie, the center back, left foot's one forward. Maris heads it back to where it came from for Taylor. One bounce, Lockie out jumps Alzate, and then left foot's one high. To the center circle, Watterson to Alzate, near side Jay McBride. So we approach 12 minutes remaining in regulation time, match even at 1 as McBride tries to create. Helps set up the only Taylor goal tonight as Alzate runs away from pressure to McBride and then dumps it back to Setrin. Left side, Gonzalez Cacho to the middle, and Watterson. Off to the far side, and the sophomore Matt Harold. Harold touched off to Matipa. That was red, but Watterson's right there to hold it in for Taylor on the far sideline. Matipa wanted to step away from Calabrese, who's back in. It's kicked out by the Grand Rapids native. And Harold to throw it in on the far side for the home team. Matipa steps around Calabrese, sends it in, and just misses the near side 90. And it'll be a goal kick here for Aquinas. Had some rain earlier in the half. It has gone away for the time being. So we approach just 11 minutes left to go here in regulation time. Big ball forward, stepping out of the way was May. Gonzalez Cacho there, able to hold the ball in on the near sideline. Vanderkolk turns. And back to Maris for Taylor. Maris with a skip and a right-footed rocket forward. Volleyed away by Lockie. Headed down by Schinkel, who had an opportunity to give Aquinas the lead a few moments ago, but pushed the shot wide. Dancing with it is Sabanovic. A foot race is won by Travers to hold the ball in. Off the chest of Hoosier. McBride trying to head it over Nolan Hunter. And then out near side, Jay McBride to throw it in. Schinkel behind May. Gonzalez Cacho couldn't get there in time, but it's dumped in too far by Sabanovic, and James McBride's right there. Forward it goes off the chest of Giggini. Chested down in the middle, and Maris will flick this one away. Matipa turns and it was kicked away by Calabrese before the Trojans get there, and Harold takes a man down far side, and he is whistled for the foul. The Taylor fans in the Taylor bench unhappy as the clock will stop. As the Aquinas player that Harold ran through is slow to get up on the far side of the field. We'll take a break and come back with 9:42 left to go in the second half. And we'll hold it here as the young man back to his feet. As Joe Walter, the athletic trainer, has been pretty active here tonight. Trying to see exactly who was the injured Saint. And it looks to be number 15, Jackson Moore. And now Athletic actually knows And now athletic trainer Joe Walter will relay a message to the small but rowdy group of Taylor students across from us. And now Walter's got to take the long route back to the sideline. Free kicked in, headed down, trying to send it in was Aquinas. Kicked away and then driven out of trouble by the Trojan back line. Out of bounds, far side off of Matipa. Maris gets his toe on it. Out as he collides with Schinkel, who's slow to get back up. And now the subs are enter. Luke Holwarder, Quinn Partain, Levi Yoder return for Taylor. Ricardo Rittersberger makes his first second half showing. We'll see who he replaces. And it's going to be number 11, Jasper Schinkel, who exits. So Schinkel out. Throw in for Aquinas far side with a 1-1 match with almost 8 minutes left to go here before we head to overtime. Fought for in the far corner. Maris slips. It goes off of Colin. It's a corner kick here for Aquinas. They're fourth of the second half and fourth of the match. Theo May in the far corner. He'll take this one. Aquinas shooting on the goal to our right, so this means it'll come into the right of the keeper of Taylor, Sam Spiegel. An in-swinger that fades away, and Spiegel outjumps everyone and snags it in traffic. He had Jackson Moore trying to block his view, but the 5'8 Moore was not enough to slow down the 6'2 Spiegel. Sam blasts this one forward. Partain linked up with his man, couldn't win it clean, but Taylor wins it on the second touch. Vanderkolk to Partain with Calabrese on his hip. Yoder spins away, two defenders right there, punched forward by Aquinas. Lockie's long try, cut down by Matt Harold of Taylor. Partain couldn't get to the far sideline in time, but it goes off of Aquinas. And with 7:04 and counting here in the second half, Taylor's got a throw in the attacking half on the far side. And now a foul called against the Trojans. Or a handball, excuse me. Making a foul on the Trojans, their 10th. With less than 7 to go in the second half, Taylor trying to avoid dropping their third match in a row. And Aquinas trying to win their first contest of the season. Off the chest of Maris, Partain could not get there in time. But it doesn't matter because it went off of Maris's chest and off of an Aquinas player. As both Luke Ruff, the head coach of Aquinas, and Gary Ross, the head coach of Taylor, both just had the same exact reaction of disbelief with hands outstretched from their sides and palms facing skyward. And then physical play far side. Losing his footing is Jackson Moore, and it's a Taylor foul. Number 11 against the home side tonight with less than 6 to go in regulation time, and the match even at a goal aside. Vanderkolk and Travers, your goal scorers for Taylor and Aquinas respectively. As a misting rain is now wafted in here to Turner Stadium. Almost fog-like strong mist. Held in, sent in, deflected near side by the Trojans out front on a couple rockets sent in by Aquinas near outside the just outside the 18. Taylor got a piece of this one, but Lockie retreats. Curls it back up near midfield. Moore. And across midfield to Taylor's James McBride, who oversteps it. Thankfully, Jackson Hoosier back to pick it up. Hoosier between two defenders up to Vanderkolk. Back near side, Cetrin. Then back to Hoosiers, got a man around on his hip, tries to touch it around him. James McBride tries to come help and lays it off back to Hoosier. Tip of the cap, Ricardo Rittersberg making life difficult for the Trojans. Partain wanted Holwerda. Then Aquinas almost sends it in too deep. Thankfully, Joe Lockey, the Englishman, was there to clear it across the far sideline. 4:19 and counting in the second half. 1-1 between Taylor and Aquinas. Partain on the right edge. Veers back to his left, sends it in with a left foot, and the only one there was the keeper, Stracciotto, for the stop. Sliding is Cetrin, couldn't kick it out as it goes right onto the feet of Hunter. This one, left-footed try, getting a piece of it was the sliding Colin Maris. And here comes another corner with a missed overhead here. No, they'll say it goes off of Aquinas cleanly. It'll be Spiegel with the goal kick. And they'll stop the clock here as Jackson Hoosier stretches out his calf on the other end line. 3:30 left to go here. As Colin Klein makes his way to midfield, he will come in to replace Hoosier. And we'll pause here with 3:30 left to go in the second half. Match tied at 1 between Taylor and Aquinas. Good to see Hoosier walk off under his own power. Colin Klein comes in to take his spot as a center back position. Jackson Moore exits for Aquinas, and Jasper Schinkel back in for the Saints. We've got 3:30 left to go in the second half. Taylor with the goal and Aquinas with the goal. And a big contest for both teams tonight. Taylor starts Crossroads League play Saturday. WAC play knocking on the door for the Saints as well. Aquinas trying to get that first victory of 2021. The Trojans trying to snap a 2-game skid after falling in double overtime to Siena Heights and losing 4-0 here to Missouri Baptist. Ball out of play near sideline off of Taylor, to the dismay and disagreeance of the Taylor fans, as Nolan Hunter will get it in near side. He'll actually lay it off and let Liam Travers have a throw. Just outside the 18. Trying to connect with Rettersberger. Now Aquinas resets with less than 3 to go here. Into the 18. Rettersberger heads it on. Spiegel tracks, jumps, and pokes it away with his right hand at the last possible moment. Second save of the night for Spiegel. It will be a corner, however, from the near side. 5th one of the night for Aquinas, and this is how they scored earlier in this half with the same man taking it, Theo May, from the near side. With 2:20 and counting in the second half. May an outswinger. Back post. Headed away by Taylor. Still not away from trouble. Aquinas knocks it down. Long range shot. Blocked before it could get there, and it's scooped up by Spiegel as Calabrese turned one loose. You can hear the Taylor coaching staff wanting the Trojans to slow it down with 1:50 remaining in the second. Vanderkolk, the Trojans' goal scorer tonight. Up the far side to Partain. Partain bluffs and rolls back over that right shoulder. Left footing, curling one. Cetrin there, heads, and it goes wide. Off the end line, off of whom? Off of Aquinas. So with 93 seconds left, Taylor will get their 7th corner of the night as Watterson will jog forward, and we'll see how much time the Trojans want to send this one in to play with 80 seconds left and the match level at 1. Taylor's been really good off of set pieces this season. It'll be Watterson to take on the near side. Watterson, right hand into the air. Right foot. Backside. Flicked away as Klein was there. Holwarda leaps, gets a piece of it with under a minute to go. 54 seconds left. Near midfield, James McBride. Left foot's one, back into the fray as Taylor tries to get back onside. Pirouetting in the air. Right down to Partain. Near side, Watterson crosses back all the way through. Backside, Harrell turns, shoots, and rises and sends it over the crossbar with 36 seconds remaining in regulation time. Seventh shot of the night for the Trojans after having just 11 shots in the first half. Aquinas has ripped out 11 here in half number 2. 14 seconds left, and it looks like Aquinas has got one last push in him. This one headed in with 8. Maris clears it away, and we are headed to an extra session here from Turner Stadium. 1-1 our score as we go to overtime. First home overtime match of the year for the Trojans as they try to break their 2-game skid. We're back with overtime number 1 next here on the Trojans Sports Network.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 4 different levels of membership for you to choose from. Each level receives complimentary season tickets, while the Athletic Director Circle and Trojan MVP levels receive gifts from the Athletic Department. Over the years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to TaylorTrojans.com and click on the Trojan Club tab at the top of the homepage. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University student athletes. Overtime about to get going. Both teams ready, so they don't want to take the full 5 minutes allotted here between the first and second overtimes, or the regulation and overtime number one. It'll be 10 minutes for both. A 2-minute break between overtime number one and overtime number two. First overtime match at home this year for the Trojans. It'll be their second overtime match in the last 3 outings. They lost in double OT last week to Siena Heights. Taylor with a little more offense up front here. Alzate is an outside forward near side as Quinn Partain gets a breather to start here in the first OT. Holwerda and Owen Hardy are forwards up top. Vanderkolk, Yoder. This one sent in deep by Aquinas. Hoosier trying to get there. Muscling his way through as one of the midfielders for the forward for Aquinas, Rittersberger. It goes off for the Trojans. Maris can't believe it. And quickly starting overtime number one. It'll be a corner for the visiting Saints. Here 30 seconds into OT number one. This is how the Saints scored their only goal. They'll come from the far side with the wind at their back as they shoot on the goal to our right. Quick in-swinger, headed away by James McBride of Taylor. Back out to the far sideline as Taylor flanks out to defend May. Back into the 18. Spiegel comes and knocks it off his knees. Then it goes off of the feet of Schinkel. And Taylor's got the goal kick there as another time there for Schinkel, who now gets his second close try of getting a goal into the back of the net. You're getting a ball into the back of the net, excuse me. Of course you get a goal if it goes in the back of the net, duh. Spiegel's blast catches in the wind. As it was rising up, it slowed on its pace as Vanderkolk ushered down. It's a foul against Aquinas. Their ninth. Taylor from right to left here in the first overtime. That's 2 minutes expired. Taylor going into the wind that has picked up here late stages of the second half. It has gotten considerably cooler since when we started, and less muggy as well. Watterson, 1.5 yards inside midfield, right of center. Into the 18 it goes. Jostling around, headed down, right to Holwerda, knees it down to Hardy, turns and sends it wide of the far side post. As the keeper, Stracciotto, was well off of his line. And Hardy trying to sidewind one in, just pulled it wide as he was on the far side of the field. Shot number 8 for the Trojans, 13 for the Saints. Long ball forward, Nolan Hunter trying to find it over his shoulder. Hoosier with 2 Saints there, heads it down out of play, but deep in the offensive end for Aquinas. Quick throw in for the Saints with Hunter with the honor. Into May, the newcomer of the year a year ago in the Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference. He'll kick it out of play near sideline, tried to work it on back to Liam Travers, the goal scorer tonight for Aquinas. May in the middle. Off to Sabanovich. Near side Hunter to the trailing Clemenson. Slides. Holwerda came to press, and it goes right back to John Alzate. In the middle to Watterson. Works it far side to Hardy to give Owen a go. Owen's got to run more east and west to go get to it, but does, and now comes back to the middle. Long pass finds Vanderkolk in the center of the field. He works it along near side to James McBride. 6:30 to go, first overtime. 1-1 the score. McBride to Hardy, right of center. Now in the center. Now left of center. Glides and sideline pass near side Vanderkolk. Stops it, surveys, punches forward to James McBride. Tried to turn, instead dumps it back to Owen Hardy. Owen accelerates and dinks it near side to Alzate. Back to his right foot, kicked all the way back up to Hoosier. He'll run through Rittersberger. They get back up, and then Hoosier with a shove to Rittersberger, and now the two glare at each other. Rittersberger 6'2" out of Germany. Hoosier 6'2" out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. And the foul called against Hoosier, that's number 13 against the home side. And a physical match here this evening. And they're going to have Liam Travers back up a little bit, and this will take precious time off the first overtime clock. Big right foot near the penalty area. Aquinas player lost his footing as the Trojans race, and it'll go out of play far side. And the whistle blows, and Partain will come in. He replaces Owen Hardy. Less than 5 to go here in the first overtime. Still tied at 1. With Vanderkolk your goal scorer for Taylor, and Liam Travers the scorer for Aquinas. As Hardy upset with himself as he jogs off the field. Really liked that opportunity he had, just missed it on the sidewinding kick. Hoosier rips one all the way to the near side. Partain lets it bounce off the turf. Travers out jumps him near side. Partain taken down. It's a foul against Travers. Partain looks and appeals for a card against Travers, but it'll fall on deaf ears. As we approach 4 minutes left to go here in the first overtime. And Partain with a set piece here. He's got May standing in front. A little bit too close, and now he'll be backed up. Left edge of the field. Taylor shooting on the goal to our left. Partain still thinks May is too close. Partain, a smart fella. He knows how far 10 yards is. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So May 2 yards too close. And he backs him up to the proper 10 yards. 3:30 remaining in the first overtime. Set piece free kick near side here for Partain, who's had magic in overtimes before. Curls it in to the backside of the 18. There's a whole bunch of traffic there, headed back near side, trying to head it onto the Trojans. They couldn't get enough juice on it. Flicked away by Lockie of Aquinas. Fought for and won by Yoder near side. Partain back into the 18, swept away by the back line of Aquinas. To the center circle where McBride will head it over to Watterson. Charging comes, and now here comes Aquinas. McBride will careen it off of Rittersberger, and that one goes soaring out of bounds near side. So Taylor avoids an onslaught of Aquinas players racing forward as we dip below 3 minutes to go in the first overtime session. Deflected away near midfield, and Taylor will throw it in. Jude Johansson quickly gives off to Quinn Partain. Into Vanderkolk with 2:40 left, and Aquinas clears it away as that one ricocheted off of Vanderkolk's chest. Taylor from right to left going into the wind here in the first overtime. That has picked up considerably, so much so that the fans down below us wearing shorts having to jump up and down on the bleachers to get warmth in their extremities. Taylor trying to find Vanderkolk. This one goes off of the foot of an Aquinas defender, and Taylor's got the corner on the far side of the field, and this is a picture-perfect opportunity for the captain, Quinn Partain, to use that magical left foot. He'll play it in with less than 2 minutes to go in the first overtime. Taylor trying to avoid dropping their third match in a row. Aquinas trying to pick up their first win of 2021. Partain taking his time. And Taylor's had a knack. They've had a corner kick with less than 2 minutes to go in the first and second halves, and now here in the first overtime. Far side of the field, Taylor shoots on the goal to our left. Low in-swinger. In, loose end front. It somehow finds the back of the net, and the Trojans win 2-1. It's Vanderkolk racing, and if Vanderkolk got it, he scores not only the first goal, but the game-winning goal tonight. Played in from Partain far side, and the way the Trojans are celebrating, Clay Vanderkolk, the hero this evening from Turner Stadium. With 1:27 left to go in the first overtime. And it is Clay Vanderkolk as he does a little dance down on the near side. Off the assist of the free corner kick from Quinn Partain. And with 87 seconds left to go in overtime, it's Clay Vanderkolk with the winner tonight for the Taylor Trojans. And they avoid dropping their third match in a row. They will sit at 5-2 to end league play. as Clay Vanderkolk picks a picture-perfect night to not only get his first goal of his career, but also the second goal of his career, and the second one ends up being the game winner tonight here from Turner Stadium. Well, we have someone to go interview down on the field. That is Mr. Vanderkolk. The Trojans to come back and defeat Aquinas tonight in overtime, 2-1. Taylor ends the non-conference portion of the schedule at 5-2. Aquinas falls to 0-3-1. Special thanks to Kinsley Rush, our camera operator tonight. We thank you folks for tuning in tonight as well. We're back here Saturday night when the Trojans open up Crossroads League play when they take on Mount Vernon Nazarene with a kickoff time set for 7 o'clock. Tonight's final from here at Turner Stadium in overtime. It's Clay Vanderkolk with the winner with 87 seconds left to go in overtime number 1. Clay also scored the first goal of the night for the Trojans. I think you know who we're going to interview for the old video highlights after this. This has been a presentation of Taylor Men's Soccer on the Trojan Sports Network. We say goodnight from Upland, Indiana.